Well, I don't really know what's going on here. Actually, I do kind of know. It is probably my internet service. For some reason, I have like 6 megs up. I'm supposed to have 30 or 40 or something like that. So that's annoying. Sorry about the delay, everybody. Contemplated whether or not just calling things off here and trying to get just trying to get the internet company on the phone, but let's give this a go. Just keep me posted if things get really bad. Hopefully not. I'm gonna watch the stats here at the bottom of the screen. I'm dropping a ton of frames, but anyway, let's while we open things up here, try and figure out what is going on. Maybe it's because my bill is due and they've throttled me down until I'll pay. Although it's not due until the 16th. And I'm auto-enrolled, so I pay this automatically. So let's see what sort of service they think they're sending me. You should send your stream via cloud to one of us, and we can stream it for you. Well, still requires upload speeds. I love how it says, see what plan you have, but it doesn't actually tell you what your upload speeds are. Well, anyway, hopefully this is stable enough for the next 45 minutes and we can talk through some stuff. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me today. I've been working with my guy Tim over in the UK, and so he's answering tickets and finishing out his day. It's almost 5 o'clock now over there for him, so he's quarter after 4. So he's busy. We have also, as I've mentioned before, I've also hired a guy here in the US to work with me, and so he will be starting next week, and so the more training and that sort of thing. Only 45 minutes. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if the internet holds out. So the guy will be starting next week with me, and so there'll be some kind of intensive training on Monday. It's actually a national holiday here, so I won't be in the office on Monday, but the Tuesday will be his first day, and we will be starting to set up our new office space, which is not here in my house anymore, but is over in a town called Auburn Hills, which is where the Detroit Pistons used to play before they tore down the Palace, which was their arena. Now they play downtown at Little Caesars Arena, which is where the Red Wings also play, so the hockey team. Anyway, so we are moving to Auburn Hills, our support operations, the support headquarters, the Auburn Hills, and we'll be setting up an office in the next month to kind of do some of that stuff. So I've got a ridiculous switch for you to check out. Okay. I mean, I've seen a lot of them, so if you send me an unmanaged switch, though, you are correct. It will be a ridiculous request. Still dropping frames. 50% of the frames that leave here are getting dropped. Hopefully, I'm watching the stream, and it seems to be pretty stable, but you never know. You never know. Anyway, so I'm gonna get to call my phone or my internet provider here soon, find out what's going on with them. I just had a new, well, what they refer to as a internet modem put into my house about on Christmas Eve. Actually, they came out because my internet died. Ended up that my modem unit that they gave me was shorting out and was putting like 12 volts on the internet line. So that, hopefully it's not the case, but we'll see. Nightbot shouldn't slap you. I think I turned that down or turned that off. You should be all right. If it does, I can look you up in Nightbot and actually see what you said. I'll log in there now. Log in. Yeah. Yeah, no links. You can put in a link. That's fine. What is this? Uptone audio regen Ethernet switch? What the? Whoa. $640? On what planet? Good golly. I mean, it's optimized for audio, right? So it's got an SFP cage. So that's just a 1 gig connection, but for audio, I'm sure that's plenty. On paper, it just looks like it is specifically designed for audio stuff. Reclock your Ethernet and makes your streaming audio sound better. Interesting. That is interesting indeed. It kind of does a lot of things that are not necessary. Right? What would you use it for? Hey, I don't guess. Yeah, no, that Nightbot thing is off, so you shouldn't. I mean, Nightbot is on, and some of the spam protection is on, but not the link stuff, because guys are trying to send me links in here. So I get it. I would use it for exactly nothing. Where did you find this thing? So, yeah, so continuing on here with the news, we are moving, I'm moving my office and all this stuff that you see in my office, moving all of that to a support desk. It's going to be interesting for a little while because we're going to be needing, like a whole new office setup, basically. We're trying to get the whole office online. And so new computers, tables, chairs, internet, network rack, new network infrastructure, everything. So, plus new employees. One guy is starting this week, and we're in the process of interviewing some other guys for the job, or people for that matter. So we're looking at bringing some folks on, trying to get that underway, trying to get a new office underway, trying to get a whole bunch of things. So I say all that to say I'm not 100% sure what the future holds for the next couple of weeks with Twitch, because I don't know where I'll be. My personal rig is here, obviously, at my house. My own personal server is here. My M50 Um, you know, just my streaming rig is all here, my microphones and a few other things, key lamp and everything. So, not 100% sure what the future is going to look like for Twitch. I may need to just stay home until like noon or so on Tuesday, Thursdays, and run Twitch and work out of my house, and then go into the office in the afternoons and keep working there. But I say all that to give you kind of a warning that I'm going to have my eyes and hands doing multiple things here for the next month or so. And so if things seem to slow down in the support side, I promise you it's all in an effort to speed them up a lot more. So we're looking towards the future and trying to get things better. And it's not like people have less questions over time. It's just that we need to get ourselves in a position where we can handle that sort of workload. So new employees, new offices, all that sort of stuff. So we need to build you a set in your office that looks just like the wall behind you. Just an exact replica, so you guys don't feel any no jarring differences in future streams. I do plan to actually have a place where we can do some recording. That's where Twitch will probably get streamed out of, and so we'll see how that goes. But we could come out and help do that for you. Yeah, well, I'm kind of setting it up myself. That's one of the jobs. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Anyways, on top of all that, I need to get some internet to the building because we don't have any internet there yet, and I don't even get in until Friday. So I'd like to get this ordered, figured out, that we figure that out. I vote that you play the guitar on live stream. Are you sure? You've never heard me play the guitar before. No idea if I can play or not. We'll see. We'll see what we do. Actually, totally unrelated. I've been talking with a company out of New York City called the Flute Center of New York, and they are basically, retailers for all levels of flute players. And my wife has recently picked up her flute, which is her musical instrument. That she used to play that and an oboe long ago, and of course those have kind of gone by the wayside, as life tends to do. And now that we're kind of settled down a little bit more, she's picking those instruments up again. And so we've been discussing kind of getting some trials and whatever from this place in New York to see if maybe one of those would be good for her as her next kind of musical instrument. So we'll see. We'll see if those are supposed to show up here, I think, this week. And then we're supposed to give them a go and then send back the ones we don't want. So that's fun. But anyways, so that I've been learning a lot about instruments that I don't play, and that's been an education, to say the best. Then we can rate your playing. Well, no, I'm not going to do that if you're just going to judge me. I could even sing the answers. Oh, there's an idea. Yeah, boy, there's a... Then I could be the singing support guy. That wouldn't make my bosses want to gouge their eyes out. We won't judge you. Whatever. Rating my playing? That's judgment right there. That's what that is. It's the singing, streaming support. It's the next Twitch channel. It's like when this one runs its course and then I've got to reimagine things. We'll bust out the singing support channel guy. Just need to change my name to start with an S so that it could be like Steven the Singing Support Channel. Any news on P4K updates? They are being worked on. I know that much. Because they are trying to line them up with this release of Cam Control. And right now, obviously, P4K and P400 are not working with the Cam Control 204. So that's a high priority to get those updated so that they'll talk to Cam Control correctly, and we can, go there. The website suggests the 20th. What website? The BirdDog website? They put a coming soon, like January 20th? Where? This is news to me. Where? Friday the 20th? That's November 20th. Yeah, that was when we launched it originally, right? Yeah, Friday, November 20th. No, they're working on the update, but they, yeah, I just saw it. So yeah, they're working on the update because obviously it needs to work with cam control, and the only way to manipulate the coloration right now is on the OSD, which is like pretty traditional for a lot of broadcast cameras. But obviously we want to bring all those tools to the forefront so that you can just quickly go and sort through them. So that is the plan. They're working on it alongside these P200, P100 updates, which are really, really close. Like, so close that I thought they'd be out in the next few days, but we will see, because like all programming, you squash one bug and find two more. So they are, it's like the #1 priority right now is getting these firmwares out so we can get back to quad. So the whole camera line, that's like the bulk of the first update to happen is all cameras will get updated officially to public beta or public firmwares. Excuse me. And then right after that, it's back to quad. Will there ever be an update API and will there be an updated API endpoint? Endpoint? You just mean will there be an updated REST API for these controls? Yeah, I know that that's on the roadmap for something that they want to do pretty soon. The problem is that, okay, so we wrote the API kind of quickly, first of all, but in an effort to get control, up, down, left, right control for Crestron, because we had actually had a project, a really big Crestron installer who said, hey, if you can provide me with these controls, which is basically API 1.0, you know, we can implement this in our next thing, and we're going to go with all BirdDog stuff. So we wrote general commands, which were pretty much already there, but we wrote out all the general commands for the API, integrated them in the firmware, got them updated the way it went. What happened, though, is we also made that public. We were like, well, we do have an API. Here it is. If you can use it, you know, go for it. And then the requests started. Well, now I want this feature in the API, and now I want it to do this and do this and do this. And it was like, we weren't really planning on spending a lot of time designing the API, but now it's becoming one of those things where the laundry list of features that everybody wants is pretty high. So they're working through that. You know, hopefully they're going to be able to get that updated. The problem is that our units are so feature rich that, like, to enable every feature on all of our devices on the API is pretty heavy. So I don't know how deep it's going to go. Like, I'm sure that some people are going to want to have specific features that won't be offered, and you know, it's going to be a constant improving thing if that's the route that we want to go. And those commands have to be written inside of the firmware, so the firmware has to get updated again to do that. And quite frankly, we're trying to get it to where we get the products to a place where we're not doing a bunch of firmware updates all the time. So, any thoughts on SNMP? Yeah, I rolled that past somebody at HQ just to see if that might be something on the roadmap. Right now, it's not. but doesn't mean that it can't be. And there's also conversation about synchronizing devices with like internet clocks. So there's that conversation happening. That's actually probably pretty doable, but I don't know if it's like doable in the next 6 months. The SNMP though, it would be a good idea. We're working on something like that to try and like provide some sort of way to monitor things, but right now it's just in the early phases of thinking about what that might look like. And I don't know if it's realistic to plan on having it anytime soon. So that's what you gotta. One of the things you gotta remember with guys that are inventors, right? Like these guys are just coming up with stuff of ways to achieve things. And so inventors see a problem and they think about ways to like fix it. But that process and then actually like getting it to fruition where the majority of your clients could use it and use it intuitively is a different, totally different process and conversation. And like seriously, so it takes a lot of time, a lot of development, a lot of companies, you know, in talking with Tim, the guy that works for us now over in Europe. He comes from background from other companies that, you know, like their execution process wouldn't be just a couple of months in terms of like rolling out a new firmware. It would be half a year, a couple of years. New products would take a couple of years to come to market. And, you know, one of the pieces with BirdDog being so agile and kind of like can move quickly right now is because we really don't have an enormous customer base. But when that happens, you know, there'll be a discussion about like how do we actually release products, make sure they do what they need to do, make sure everybody has access, like the majority of people can use them easily and whatever. So it adding more intricate features, you know, SNMP, internet time clocks, you know, like even network protocols. Most people don't really know what they're doing with network protocols, like what the difference is between TCP, UDP, multi-TCP, multicast. Like these are just words to them and not necessarily like modes. They don't have a preference. They don't know what the benefits are just from a networking standpoint. So it gets a little bit complicated, but yeah, we can kind of talk about some of that stuff. Anyway, onward and upward. SCTP? What is that? Are you talking about sounds like you could use a network guy who also is dev. I know a guy. Here's the thing is you flirt between the need for it to be obviously straightforward. Like the problem with the NDI stuff right now is nobody knows what, you know, like SMTP is. They don't have any idea what that is. SCTP takes the benefits of both TCP and UDP, and you can define if you want a streaming, session data, confirmations. Okay. So you're talking about like stream control. That's what you're talking about. That's the thing is the market is not saturated with network people. Most, I'm confident in saying this, most people are not network folks by trade. They are straight up installers, or they're end clients, or they're video production people, but they're not network admin. And so you start throwing in things, you know, I understand NewTek's conundrum in trying to simplify the network stuff and leave it less complicated, but in doing so you really strip away a lot of key elements that could really help a lot of people. So the big piece that, and the big piece right now that NDI is facing is education. I think just the market not being educated and how things are supposed to work, what's recommended, all that stuff really plays a huge role in how successful NDI is and will be. If it's simple to grasp and a lot of people just want to know what products to buy and will buy them and go with it. That is the simplest way to put it. But then you have guys that call me who have like 30 years in networking experience, and they know how to configure everyone's network and every switch on the market, and they've got years of experience with brands and with companies, and that is very rare in the NDI world. And so although I want to say yes, we should integrate more tools to streamline networking stuff, we basically need NDI, the protocol or the companies making the NDI stuff, that we need to come up with a standard and say this is what you buy, this is how you do it, and kind of go from there. So keep in mind the XKCD on standards. Oh yeah. Thanks for sending this. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. There are now 15 competing standards. No, it's the truth. I when you invent a protocol, here, I'll put this over here. When you invent a protocol, it's tempting to just say, this will work on networks, but then really not give any guidelines. The problem that happens there is you set no real precedence as to like what's expected. So guys go and buy like crappy stuff and they want to use the protocol. So it's a rollover text pop out as well. It is. I have none of that. So good. And that's the truth, right? Like, you create a standard. We need one standard. Just hold the mouse over the image. Oh. Oh, it's just the one thing. Versus the standard hasn't been USB, or is it my... It's true. Remember, it was supposed to be USB-C was for everything, and then it turned out that USB-C wasn't actually true USB because some USB-Cs could charge and some couldn't, and like it was really funny. USB-C is going to be the new universal, unit that everybody's going to use, and it's like, well, okay, but every cable doesn't do everything, and so it's not really universal, is it? This is great. So yeah, if New Tech doesn't want to, and I understand like the support headache that it would create for them, then pretty much we are going to have to come up with something that says, well, BirdDog is a full NDI standard. We really recommend that you do this, this, and this, and that, this be the way that you implement your networks, or at the very minimum, have these items in place. And then, then when people contact us for support and they're saying their networks aren't working, we can point them towards something and say, well, are you up to speed with this? Are your things does your network reflect these recommendations? I won't say requirements, but just you support VISC IP, you should be able to support some small RSS or both. Yeah. And that's part of the REST API stuff, right? Is that a lot of the commands to change things, like NDI, the actual commands that manipulate the camera are built upon the VISC IP, Sony VISC IP protocol. So in theory, if the if it's there, you should be able to write the API for it and get it to work. But anyway. Yeah, so, and they're definitely working on it. I mean, again, whether or not they come out with every single feature is supported, I don't think they will, but there's lots of options out there in terms of what it can do, and hopefully it will give people really, you know, control, a lot more tangible control in their third-party controllers, which is nice. Crestron, Extron, you know, a few other parties. People are writing their own software, for crying out loud. So, you know, Companion is one of those that gives you a lot of control over your device without really needing a keyboard, but a joystick keyboard, mind you. Whoa. Something is wrong with Comcast's website, because every time I say more information on one of their internet deals, it takes me to like a "this doesn't work" page. I don't really want to sign up for emails, but I don't think I have a choice. Anyways, oh hey, so the good news about, oh hey, is Flex out not working with Central Pro? Correct. Central Pro hasn't been updated yet for the 4K lines. So Flex, 4K, HDMI, SDI, and Quad, and the cameras. So Central will need to be updated before we do that. NAB get canceled. It's been moved to October, from what I could tell. Unless they've recently announced that it's canceled. NAB Las Vegas 2021. 2021. NAB Las Vegas announces has been rescheduled for October 9th through the 13th in Las Vegas. So, I'll be there. Probably. Hopefully I'll have a vaccine by then. I'll have it, like, hopefully I'll have had my vaccine. I know they're rolling out. My parents are qualified. In Canada, they're qualified for the vaccine. So my mom's already got one of hers. Do I have a Flex in on the way? I don't know. Do you? Is it like a riddle? Or remember, I don't know who you are. Do you have a ticket number? Jog my memory a little bit. I don't know. Do you? Ticket number 3. Really? All right. Let's go back to our help desk and look at what ticket number 3 is. I'm going to call Beep Chirp a liar because I'm pretty sure that's a test email. Ticket number 3 doesn't exist. There was never a ticket number 3. 3813. Oh, hey, how's it going? Please use this one. Did you send me the other one? Because yes, I have one. Yeah, I know they throw out the boxes and stuff. It's really annoying, but whatever. Yeah, I can get this out. Let me put this at the top of my list here. Well, then your handle, I guess, makes a lot more sense. No, we're hot swapping. Right. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I was thinking it was coming here first. Yeah, I should have the means to send this to you. I'll try and get that organized here in the next 48 hours and ship it out. Actually, I'll probably ship it out tomorrow. Have them pick it up. Okay, so yeah, this is at the top of my list now, so I should be able to handle that. I'm also going to make a note. Oh my word, they have been creating tickets a fair bit today in terms of we've been having a lot of new tickets generated today, so a lot of new tickets. And I bet my Facebook page got dumped on when I was starting and stopping this stream all day today. Remember, folks, the best way to create a ticket is to email BirdDog John directly. That's right. The best way to start a ticket and not get any answers is to email me directly or send me a message on Facebook, because everybody wants to use their Facebook for business. Speaking of which, where is the video? What? That's fine. Delete. Move to trash. Cool. All right. Yeah, BirdDog John loves it when you email me directly, because that's a really email is a really great way to keep all your tickets organized. Oh. Alrighty. What do we got here? Ooh, 11:50. All right. Moving right along here. So yeah, NAB was moved on September 9th to October. It appears that it's still going on. Start planning your 2021 show. So yeah, all the stuff is up on the website showing that it's supposed to be happening. So we missed you too. 30 months. That's how long it's been since we've been together last, and we can't wait to get back in the most significant in-person media entertainment event in 2020. Yeah, that's funny. There's been a lot of talk about how there's been a lot of talk. Ooh, that's cool. About how trade shows and shows like this are going to probably need to be totally revamped in terms of their validity in the world, because companies have been operating for a year now and not really having any. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but they're realizing the importance or the lack of importance of NAD to their company structure, and BirdDog will go because we love getting a chance to finally seeing people. But yeah, we've had discussions about wondering if folks are going to back out, if attendance is going to be low. I mean, it might be because of pandemic anyways, right? But it is a global event, and we don't know how much of the globe is going to join us. So anyway, it's supposed to happen. It'd be great if it did. I'm all about it. I could only go if I was vaccinated, but you know, it was a fun show last time I went. Apparently Scarho is trying to get a P400 P4K on loan to integrate them with their controllers, but with no success. Eamon said they have BirdDog's contact. Any chance you could help pushing this along? Who's the retailer? Can they can't get a demo from like Holden or from somebody over there? Like, we don't have cameras just laying around, so in order to like get one, you'd have to get it through a retailer or something like that. I don't think it's not a retailer, it's actually Scarho. Yeah, I know, but they want to integrate our products with their platform. So they would probably need to contact Holden, because Holden has demo kits and they're over there with Scarhoy in Europe, right? So I would probably go through I know they've been in touch with Phil, who is over there in sales with BirdDog. The reason they probably don't have one is probably because we don't have any. So if we don't have any around, there's a good chance they're not going to get any around unless they order to. You know, they could order them and keep them there with their fleet and then be able to update their stuff. But maybe I should build a chest mount for P100 on the next gen of the wearable. There you go. I'm not sure what the PTZ purpose would be if you had it chest mounted, but yeah, I would, in regards to Scarhoy, I would just have them check with Holden and see if there is a demo unit they can have. Demo units usually only go out for about a week though, and then they need to come back and go to the next client. So they would probably need to get it. If they don't want to buy one, then they'd have to get in line and wait for the demo to become available. If they're even running P400, P4K demos over there. They're essentially mostly the same inner workings, like command lines and stuff for controlling. So they really only need to get one of them, but initially. But I suspect the reason why nobody sent them anything is because they're not available. Like, in terms of we sell out all the time. They show up, they sit on the shelves for 3 or 4 days, and they all get sold. And then we wait for the next shipment in 2 weeks. So it's been kind of an issue, because we've been trying to get enough stock on the shelves so that when people want to buy one, there's one available. The issue with that is that we're selling out all the products we make, which isn't a problem. Like, it's a good problem to have, because you don't want stock just sitting around waiting to be purchased, because you never know when it will be purchased. Got a lot of money just sitting around. But right now we can't keep things on the shelves. So what we make, we sell, and that's probably why they haven't gotten it yet. I know the guys are working on setting up a system and money flow and all that sort of stuff to get more products on the manufacturing run. So if we typically make, 5,000 units on a single manufacturing run, trying to double it or something so that there's at least a bit more to go around, which can hold us off then for, the 2 or 3 weeks where we're waiting for manufacturing to get tooled up. So what happens is these manufacturing plants, they have to get tooled up to do it, right? Everybody's got to get their parts, everything's got to get on the line, everything's got to get into the factory, and then they can start producing them. But they don't keep all those things just laying around when we're not producing them. They shut it all down and pack it all away. And, so every time you shut down and start up, it takes a week to do. Granted, they've got it down to quite the science over there, because they do it so often. These factories are in good shape, but it is kind of a bit of a process. And if you're doing that once or twice a month, then it takes time. Everything takes time. And then a global pandemic hits and shuts down the world, and people are wondering where your products are. It's like, well, where do you begin, right? Will we be seeing a science channel how it's made on NDI PTZ cameras? No, maybe on Panasonic HX cameras, but you probably won't see it on Bolin cameras, that's for sure. At least I don't think you will. I'll have to call you back. Cool. Well, we're rounding out the day here. Pretty excited to get you some more news about office space and new employees and all that sort of good stuff. So really looking forward to that. I am going to kind of round out here. Sorry, beep chirp. I know I started late, but I've got to call it here at noon. We're really looking forward to getting things squared away. Oh, one of the announcements I was going to say is now when you send in the US, now when you send products to have them serviced or assessed or fixed, you'll be sending them directly to our US office instead of to a location that's where I can get some shipping and receiving. That's not my front door. And so we'll actually have an address that you can ship stuff to and that we can ship things out of, and we'll have UPS picking things up and whatever. So pretty excited about that. Happy to not be driving an hour twice a week to go pick up things and take them back and ship them back and all that stuff. So that'll be a good change, a good thing for me. And although I will be driving into work every day from now on, so that's something I haven't had to do in almost 20 months. So back to the grind, I guess. Nothing like the 45 minutes of support with BirdDog every Tuesday. Hey, now, it's pretty rare that I don't give you the whole hour. Any chance that you could use a P200, P400, P4K on an upcoming stream? Maybe. I don't have a 400 and I don't have a P4K. I do have a P200 that I actually regularly do use on this show when I'm doing P200 stuff. This is Dexter. This is my original BirdDog. What are you doing? Come here. Come. This is Dexter. He's a good boy. He turned 11 yesterday, and I just woke him up from a sleep, so he's pretty tired. But he's a good boy, and he's still with us, so that's good news. So I do have a P200. If that's something you want to see, could definitely connect that up and show that on Thursday, and kind of give you an idea as to what walk you through whatever you got going on. But yeah, we could showcase probably a P200 for sure. The other cameras are just 4K sensors, and I don't have that luxury of having those laying around. I will, hopefully one day, but not right now. I said a brilliant idea. You could sell or rent your house to the company for office space and get a new house. Oh, I see. Direct comparison. Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a P4K or a P400. The only two that I have were not working right, and I have to send them to China. So they're in a box on the other side of that door. They're two P400s, and they're headed out here this week for assessment and repair. So unfortunately, I don't have that at my disposal. But maybe one day, for sure. If that's something you'd like to see, remind me in about 6 months when I've got products, and we can kind of go from there. All right, well, my phone is blowing up, and I'm not too sure who's calling me. That looks like I recognize that number, actually. Anyways, I'll give you guys the boot, and I'll peace out. Oh, I want to show you a new video. Hopefully it works. And then we'll call it a day. What are your thoughts on using 100, 200 outdoors when the weather is good? I mean, I like it. Yeah, temporary for an hour or two on a tripod or something secure. I've done it, and it works well. And it seems to adapt to sunlight really well. So as long as it's not, again, it's a broadcast camera, so remember to keep your lighting in check. But yeah, it's doable. P200 for sure, because the sensor's a lot bigger. P100, probably get away with it all right. But it's not great with the zoom compared to the 200. So dust or pollen in the gears, not particularly. It's pretty well. I wouldn't use it in Saudi Arabia, but everything seems to function well. If you really had that much of an issue, they're rated for indoor. I won't recommend it. I'll say I've done it. If it's just for an hour or two, that's probably no big deal. Obviously, protect them as much as you can, but there shouldn't be too much issue with it being used safely outside. Probably be just fine. I know a lot of events do. We had an event. It was like a heavy metal rock concert that was going on in British Columbia at an outside concert venue, and they used all P200s. They had like 4 or 5 of them, and the guy was calling the shots and whatever, and they just put them under umbrellas, like under awnings basically. But if it rained, they got them covered, but otherwise they definitely operated outside, and the guy was very happy with it. So I haven't heard from him in a while, actually. But anyway, so it has been done, is being done, and seems to be all right. Like I said, as long as you take care of them, should be okay. Okay, I'm gonna peace out. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for hanging out today. I want to show you the new video that our guys made. It's available on our Facebook page, but I'll show it to you here, and then we'll call it a day. So thanks a lot. We'll see you on Thursday, hopefully 11 o'clock. As long as my internet works, we'll check in with you guys soon. Peace out.
I was fiddling around with the idea of recording video of podcasts, and I was trying to use webcams and things like that, but it's just impossible. Recording a podcast requires a certain sort of people management thing where everyone's got to be relaxed and everything like that. And when I discovered the notion of PTZ cameras, I went, oh, this is fantastic. The main thing about the BirdDog PTZ cameras, and now the Flex, is the fact that it all goes into the network, because I have 2 studios, so I can actually have with high-end computers in each one, so I can actually have a relaxed podcasting / recording of any kind of performance, and a lot of the hard work and more staff and more engineers can be hidden away in the other studio on the network, streaming, switching, doing whatever they need. So I love the fact that it's on the Ethernet using the NDI, and I love the fact that it's just high end, and I love the fact that I can then also record a podcast from my little nest here and still control 3 cameras, which is amazing.